Tracking thunderstorms across the area. I want to give you an update on what we're looking at here and what's going to happen here for the next couple of hours. We have the line of showers and storms. You can see it moving through the area in northwest Arkansas and the River Valley. These thunderstorms are going to be tracking towards the north and also towards the northeast. So let me step over the weather wall here, and we'll bring you some of the latest on what's going on. It looks like I really think some of the stronger storms are going to be in the River Valley or the River Valley West. So we're looking at places near Fort Smith and then southeast of the Fort Smith area. You can see a cluster of lightning here. This storm actually has had some rotation on it this afternoon. The one north of Fort Smith has a little bit of weak rotation, nothing that strong as of now. I'll also tell you too, as we've been watching these storms develop this afternoon, we've had a lot of lightning with the stronger cells, but look how thin that ribbon is. It's not like this thing goes for, it's not going to rain for hours after it. You're going to get a good rain as it moves through, and then things start to settle on down. So let's take a look and see what's going on, and get a closer look at how this is going to play out this afternoon and this evening. First, to the stronger storms, you can see in the Fort Smith area, just to the northeast of Fort Smith up by Cedarville, these thunderstorms are making their way through the area and tracking northeastward. So that's going to put this thunderstorm out across Cedarville and Alma. You can see that line of storms that's moving on through. We'll back up a little bit and then go back into this and maybe hit a little bit of a look at the loop of showers and storms. This is over the last hour, and you can kind of get a feel for how they're trending and tracking towards the north and then towards the northeast. I'll stop this radar and bring you another look at some of these storms as they move through. Let's focus in on this one in southern Leflore County if we can get down there. And this will give you an idea of what we're looking at as far as the wind speeds go inside the storm. So let's get down in this area here. So this is the area of rotation that we've been watching, and that's going to be, let's see here, right there. See a little red and green here just north of Heavener and Mansfield. So we're watching that pretty close. There's been some pockets of rotation with that storm as it's moved on through. Let's see if we can take a look and see what the shear looks like inside that thunderstorm. We'll turn that shear marker on here and maybe get an idea. Yep, right in there is what we're looking at. And it's got some hail with it too, so we may be looking at some hail within that storm as it makes its way through the area. And then moving back to the north, we don't really have much hail with these thunderstorms here near Cedarville. You can see a little bit of wind shear here that could also indicate some a little bit of gusty winds. By the way, there are no warnings that are in effect right now. The other thing I want to show you too is the hail tracker. So this gives us an idea of where the hail is located and where it's been tracking towards. And sure enough, you can see the general track of that hail has been across Leflore County. And that's pretty much the only area that we've been seeing the hail with. And that's also an indication too that we're dealing with a more intense thunderstorm as those storms make their way through. Let's go back to a wide view here. Again, that's the thunderstorm that's moving through the area, moving northeast up towards Mansfield. As we move to the north, though, and also to the east, you can see the cell that's here around Alma. So this one's going to be moving right up 71 in the central part of Crawford County. This is the same storm that moved through Fort Smith earlier, and the track is northeastward. So that's going to be right up 71 or right up 49. And then in the West Fork area, it looks like we've got a little bit of lightning strikes right through here. See if we can get another look at this thing as it moves in. This is in the West Fork region, just between West Fork and Greenland. This is the one that just came through. We can look at this a little bit closer there. There you go. So you got it from West Fork and Woolsey. That's going to be moving up towards Sulphur City, and probably a little bit of small hail with this thunderstorm too as it moves through. That's going to track north and northeastward, just east of Razorback Stadium. Hey, by the way, guys, it looks like, just based on this, as we zoom out real quick, you can see that the line of strongest storms has actually moved east of I-49. So that's a good thing for us as it moves east and moves out of the area. We should be in some better shape here for a clearing, and that's why Benton and Washington County actually were not included in the watch for the storm. Checking in with the Weather Service here. They're watching that cell as well in Leflore County, which makes sense. That's the one we're keeping an eye on too. That cell's going to track northeast, so that's the one to watch here down to the south. The tornado watch includes Carroll and Madison and also Franklin and Johnson County. There's a new scan, a new update showing that cell in Fayetteville. I wonder if we can get an idea of what the wind velocity looks like in this thing. This is a loop of those images. Don't see anything rotating here. Let's zoom in for a closer look though. Get another idea of what's going on here. Now, this is going to be a line of gusty winds. Take you south through West Fork here and get another look at this thing, and then we'll maybe take a look at some of the shear too. So, yeah, there's a little bit of lightning strikes in here. There's nothing really that indicates to us that we're looking at any kind of big rotation within the storm. If we take a look at the wind shear in this, there's some stronger winds that are wrapping up here. Nothing to be too concerned about, though. Wind shear here Some of these shear markers are a little bit hot on this. I don't think that's really an indication that we're going to be dealing with any deep rotation on this. I'm going to take you back to a full screen view. There we go. And perhaps zoom in a little bit and then go north to south and really focus in on that storm that's in South Sebastian County and points southward. It looks like if it continues on its current track too, Fort Smith is going to be in the clear here soon. So see what I'm talking about? We're coming up on what, 126, and we already have some parts of the area that are in the clear. So this isn't going to be something that lasts for hours here. Matter of fact, I think we're already in the clear in Bentonville and West Siloam Springs. Rogers, we've got it out on the east side of town, so we're not in the clear just yet. And then backing down to the south, you can see some of those storms that are a little bit stronger here. I think if any of these storms are going to do anything, it's going to be the one in central Crawford County or the one in southern Sebastian County. As of right now, again, no warnings, which is great news for us. Let's see if we can't get in a closer look here too at the storm that's out south towards Poto. That's the one that's coming up on the Mansfield area. Let's see if we can take a closer look at that storm. There we go. We're looking right in here, and we'll try to use the scope on this and see what this looks like here. We've got just a little bit of weak rotation in the storm, those inbound and those outbound winds giving us an indication of whether or not the storm is spinning or not. And as of right now, it doesn't look like that one's got a deep spin to it, but it is definitely something to keep an eye on. Let's see here, let's make that a little bit smaller right in there. So this is going to be tracking across southern Sebastian County. Just looking inside the storm, right there is where any rotation would be, but it's down quite a bit from where it was earlier. You can see something right in there. Let's move down to Heavener. See, we don't have any of those reds and greens touching in this area here. Some gusty winds on the storm. And probably a good little wind gust here coming into Greenwood. You can see that red-green line that's moving through the Greenwood area too. So we've got some stronger winds within that storm. All right, so we've kind of established that we're in the clear here in Rogers and Bentonville now. Let's see if we can loop this thing and get an idea of how this is going to play out. In fact, I'm going to go to another image here, I believe, just a second. That'll loop a little bit better, kind of give you an idea. It'll be a little bit slower. Slow it down a little bit. There we go. That's going to look a little better for us. And then we'll take a little bit of a tighter shot, and then we'll go north to south. We're missing some data here from earlier. We were doing some maintenance on the systems in between newscasts, so that's why it kind of jumps in and out on you. But you can see this storm here east of Fayetteville. We have the other one that's over Beaver Lake. These don't look that impressive right now, but they're moving into an environment where they're probably going to intensify just a little bit more than what they're doing. Let's get in on the storm in Crawford County and use the scope, see what's going on here with this one. So let's see here. We've got the storm right about there. Yeah, that thing's not really spinning, is it? Taking a look out towards Alma and then north. Nah, doesn't look like it's too big a deal, which is nice. So some heavy rainfall. Of course, we also had some of that rainfall this morning. You guys probably remember, well, at least I guess it's going to be from the tunnel north. We had those storms that moved through at about, what was it, 5, 6, coming up on 7 o'clock, that morning drive. Yeah. Let's go, let's move back down to the south into Greenwood and Mansfield. So that's the one that we're going to keep an eye on here, and that's the one that's tracking northeastward. Another wide view of the storms here with a loop of images showing that line moving across the area. We'll get in on this one a little bit more too. So we've got it moving west to east here. Some of the lightning strikes are pretty strong. This one's going to track northeast up through the Ozarks and up north of Ozark. In Huntsville, you guys are going to get this thing coming through. It's right. Here's Huntsville. So we've got the storms just to our west and to our southwest. Another closer look at that storm that's moving in. Again, coming right up towards 71. And just north of Alma is where that particular storm is. I'm moving back south now. Let's move out towards Mansfield again and let this radar update. Let's see. Yeah, still watching this one here. This is probably the storm that has the highest potential as it tracks northeastward. So heads up in Mansfield, and I'll go ahead and zoom in a little bit more. And if you'll notice too, we changed up some of our buttons, and this is the first time using it. So if it acts a little bit wonky, it's probably my fault. We'll fix it though. So we're looking west of Mansfield. This is the area that I think is probably the one to watch. So it comes through Mansfield and Dayton. That should continue tracking north up through Washburn. It may get into, I bet it goes north of Boonville. It gets pretty close to Charleston in this area though. That's going to be within about the next 30 minutes to an hour here in southern Franklin County. So out towards Branch, Chisholmville, and then to the west-southwest, this is going to be moving on through. There's a new scan. Let's see what it looks like now. Yeah, this is the one we're watching right through here. Here's Mansfield. There's that little notch. See if anything's going on inside that thing. Yeah, still looking at right there. That's a little pocket of rotation that we've got on it. And it lines up with where that little notch is too, doesn't it? Right through there. Something to watch. Right now, it doesn't look like there's anything that's that stands out big time. I think I jumped some images here, but this looks like it's going to be Bentonville. And one of the things that Dax and I were talking about is how low the cloud bases are. The level at which the water starts to condense actually does play a factor in the development of tornadoes. We call it the lifting condensation level. The lower it is, the more likely you are to not only get strong tornadoes, but get some tornadoes in general. And this is pretty low to the ground here. And those ceiling levels are a lot lower than they typically are. This is the severe weather, or actually tornado watch. This is the one that goes until 8 o'clock. Now keep in mind with this thing though, we've already established that Rogers and Bentonville and Fayetteville are in the clear. Fort Smith's in the clear now. So I bet you they start clearing this watch rows of counties at a time through this afternoon. And probably by 5, it's all gone, maybe a little bit earlier than that and a little bit sooner. Here's another wide view of the storms. Now, on the flip side of this thing, and it's important to note, the winds are really going to plow in out of the west. Those storms are going to be moving out, but those west winds move in, and you can see the comma head here with that low pressure system that's pulling in those west winds. So we'll actually get some clearing this evening, believe it or not, and that should lead to some breezy conditions and possibly even a brush fire danger later on this evening. I'm looking off camera at that cell here. I'm taking a look at 2 different ones here on some higher res data. Dax, I know you've been over there. You seen anything? I don't know if you're mic'd up at the moment.
Not mic'd up, but they are talking about in chat how they are concerned about the cap is now weakening ahead of the line and talking about tornado potential continuing primarily east of Fort Smith for the next couple of hours.
Here. Yeah, and so we're Fort Smith, and then looking out towards the east is really going to be our best chance of getting some of those storms to move on through this afternoon and this evening. And we're live on the website and on the Facebook, so I've got the Yeti water, so you have to excuse that real quick. Unless you want to take over, Dax.
You want me to?
Go for it.
So we're going to continue to talk about Thunderstorm. Do you have the hand tracker button?
Yeah, let me get you hooked up with the hand tracker.
Okay, perfect. Is my mic on?
You're good to go, man.
All right, sweet. All right, come over. So we're continuing to watch this line of showers and thunderstorms moving towards the east across the area. And like Garrett was saying, this is going to be the case as we go throughout the next couple of hours. Now, the best chance for that severe weather is going to be east of Interstate 49. So you can see the line beginning to work its way to the east of Bentonville, Fayetteville, and Rogers. And Garrett, I'm also trying to get that. Oh, let's see.
It takes a little bit of work there.
Let's see.
You and I have been working on this for about 2 weeks, so we'll need a little bit of practice on it. But
yeah, absolutely.
If we start getting some big warnings, we'll double team this stuff.
Well, it's
Hey, there's a warning down there around Shreveport, though.
There is a warning. Maybe I need to just come over there and.
I'll reset it for you, Dax. Hang on a sec. Go ahead and head to the wall. You're cool.
All right, cool. So that line's going to continue to push towards the east. A lot of lightning, too, with these storms. But the good news is that so far we really haven't seen too much in the way of any severe weather out there. Now, take a little bit closer look in northwest Arkansas. Man, it was loud this morning in northwest Arkansas, waking up. I know the windows were rattling this morning. We're pretty good in northwest Arkansas now. It's moving to the east of Interstate 49. So we're going to be talking about sunshine, though, pretty soon in parts of northwest Arkansas. It's going to move off to the east, a couple of showers out across Carroll and Madison counties. Now, keep in mind, the tornado watch does include both Carroll and Madison counties through this evening. But like Garrett was saying, it's going to probably be canceled well before that 8 o'clock time period. But if anyone's going to see severe weather in northwest Arkansas, it's likely going to be across Carroll or Madison counties through the evening. That line will continue to move to the east, but more widespread chances for storms. I think the greatest risk entirely in our area is going to be across Johnson, Logan, Scott, and perhaps Franklin counties as well. The environment very favorable out ahead, and you know we've been focusing on these storms here in the River Valley over the past couple of hours. Really haven't been able to just do a whole lot. The greatest chance overall, closer to Little Rock, Russellville, Atkins later on today. This is where the greatest area will be for seeing the combined ingredients for those severe weather. And you can see they're kind of broken. So we've got the individual storms out there, and that's the concern, at least initially. As we see those storms that are individual, that's going to give them the greatest potential to spin as we go throughout the afternoon. And like I've been saying, so far, so good. Garrett's taking a look here. Not too much in any way of rotation. This one's come up quite a bit, though, in terms of lightning over the past couple of minutes. And this is, again, the area favored for this afternoon. Is this one, is it still rotating? We got anything in that one yet?
Let's see. You gotta look at the one here in Greenwood, just south of this area. There may be a little bit.
A little bit right there.
Yeah.
South of Greenwood. Overall, nothing really sustained, though, I wouldn't say.
No, it actually looked better when it was in LaFleur County.
Yeah.
This one looks a little, you know what happened? The line, the outflow might be catching up to it, too. So it may be something like one of these, or I guess if this one can speed up a little bit, it may have a little bit more of a chance.
Yeah, it's going to undercut a lot of those storms along the front, which could be good news for us. We've seemed to dodge the bullet, Garrett, the past couple of systems. It's either been just to our east or just to our west. And taking a look at hail right now, a little bit of hail, some small hail falling across parts of southern Sebastian County, parts just east of Heavener and Poto in LaFleur County, close to an inch, so just under quarter size hail right now. You need a 1 inch hail, which is about quarter size to get that severe thunderstorm warning, so just below that at this point. And not really much hail anywhere else either. So maybe that's a good sign, too, that maybe some of those updrafts are struggling a little bit.
There may have been a little bit of small hail through West Fork. It doesn't look like it would have been much. Let's see what this is. This is probably, 3/10 of an inch. So
a little bit pea-size?
Pea-size, probably. Yeah, pretty small hail on that one.
Not too much. There's a little bit of hail this morning, too, in Northwest Arkansas. But overall,
this one's got an interesting shape to it, though, doesn't it?
It does. It's got the kind of the kidney beam shape, which is what you generally don't want to see. But still, when you looked at it a minute ago, it doesn't look like not much in the way of any rotation.
Yeah, I'm looking at it off camera too on Analyst. I don't see anything right now, which is interesting. Sometimes I guess they can take on that look and not really have much to it.
Yeah, for sure, and that's good news. We don't want to see anything here. Hopefully it's able to get out here quick, and like you were saying, hopefully that front undercuts some of these storms too. But definitely it's by itself, Garrett, so
yeah, it is.
It's something to keep in mind too.
There's a loop of it. You can kind of see where it's going. It's going to be getting up towards northeast Crawford County, probably northern Franklin County too.
It really does have, especially when you zoom out,
it does.
that kind of backward
C
shape. This one too is interesting. It really popped up pretty quick too, going into Johnson County. So it's about to be loud. For those of you over watching in Clarksville, it's coming down in Coal Hill right now on Highway 64. This is going to move in. It may only hit the west side of town, so west parts of Clarksville over through Coal Hill. Doesn't look like there was any hail with this earlier, but it's going to continue to move towards the north and east. And this is another one too. It's out ahead of the main line, out ahead of being undercut by anything. So we'll have to continue to watch that and see if anything is able to spin up here, because like I said, good environment. So far though, this one doesn't have the shape either as much, Garrett.
No. Yeah, not as much as this one in Crawford County. This is definitely one to watch.
It really is.
You know, I looked through different tilts too, up through the atmosphere here, and there's just, it's interesting because the rotation, if there was any, just based on the shape of it, would be northwest of Mulberry by about, let's see here, it's going to be about 5 miles northwest of Mulberry. But if we go up into the atmosphere here, there's I'll take it all the way to tilt 2.5. There's not much. I mean, there's really not much rotation at all with that. So that's something to keep an eye on pretty close here.
It's surprising too. It really does have the shape, and also it like you were saying, the clouds are so low to the ground. It's not going to take much low-level rotation to see. Yeah, perfect. You can see the clouds very, very low to the ground. So it won't take much rotation at the surface to cause anything as we go throughout the afternoon. It's a live look right now, I believe, in Pensacola, in Choctaw. So this is behind that main line, behind the front. You can see a lot of cloud cover, but the rain moving to the east, and you can see some lighter skies over there on the western part.
I changed it up on you.
I moved you. You knew what I was doing.
I know, right?
No,
I'll take you back there. Here you go. Here you go, Dax.
It's all good. You can just see, I'm just going to mention, it's got the dark clouds, the rain, but clearing skies. So like Garrett was saying too, sunshine's going to be the rule of thumb as we go into this afternoon. Man, that brush fire risk is going to be pretty high, as well as the wind begins to whip behind the front. Clearing skies, definitely going to have a high fire danger for today and probably into tomorrow as well. If you want to advance, we can talk about the Fort Smith sky cam as well on the graphics here. And yeah, so we've got the rain moving into the River Valley region, but again, not really much going on in terms of severe weather. Knock on wood so far, just a lot of low clouds, rain. Now keep in mind too, even if it's not severe, you're going to have the chance for some small hail, gusty winds, and that heavy rainfall out there. And this is on the square, actually, in Fayetteville. Yeah, the line just moved through. Got some water on the lens there. The streets definitely all wet, but Northwest Arkansas escaping. Benton and Washington County were actually two of the only counties not included in that tornado watch earlier. Ooh, this is a good one. This is that shelf cloud, Garrett, isn't it? Or on the backside?
On the backside of the, it's Springdale looking northwest. It's going to clear out really quick with this.
Yeah, you can see the lighter coloration of the clouds there pretty quickly behind. Good news, fingers crossed that the trend continues as we go throughout the next couple hours. Are they saying anything in chat, Garrett?
Yeah, they actually are. I was trying to load up the iCam to move it. The Weather Service is watching the storm in South Sebastian County. That's the one we've been keeping an eye on. This is a composite radar, so it's got the cloud cover on it too, but it's the one in Sebastian County. And then you can see that, like you were talking about, Dax, that clearing line, I mean, it's about to be clear in Vian, which, I mean, it's fast.
And that's the Pocola iCam is looking west, so that's pretty darn close to where that SkyCam was. It's very thin between storms and sunshine, just boom, boom.
Let's go back over to radar here, and I'll take you into that storm that they're watching. It's going to be this one here, and it also has kind of that shape to it still.
Yep. Be just if we're going to see anything, it'd probably just be east of Mansfield. If you want to, pop up.
Let's go. Let me make it a little bit bigger for us.
Well, it's pretty broad.
Yeah, it doesn't look very defined.
Too defined, no.
Well, they said the Weather Service also mentioned that it's pulsed several times here without much in the way of without a sustained updraft. So I think that's what they're watching here. They know it's had some hail on it, but it just hasn't been able to really keep its stuff together here so far.
It looks pretty healthy. An hour ago in LaFleur County? I really thought that they were about to issue a tornado warning on that for a couple of minutes there.
We'll take you to the velocity trend. I'm going to slow this down though to. Let's do about 30 minutes worth of data on this, or I don't know, maybe even 15 might be a little bit better here.
It's just broad. You can see that big area here.
Out towards Dayton, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe you can see those.
Trying?
Yeah, it could be trying to wrap up east of Mansfield, maybe southeast of Dayton. I'm going to turn on some of these.
Yeah, here.
I'll turn on these shear markers here. These are something we've been working with. I'm going to go back to the rotation on this.
It lines up with the shape of the storm, too.
Yeah, it sure does. Let's see if we can get that without me breaking it.
Doesn't even like you either.
It doesn't like me either, no. This is what happens when you start working with stuff at the early part of severe weather season. Let's see here. I can fix it really easy. There we go. Okay, so yeah, that's the storm that we're looking at. This one right there. So that little rotation area is a little interesting
here. Just south. This is southern Sebastian County. This is going to be moving in, though, I believe Logan County, and then eventually down the line, moving into, Paris down the line?
It looks like if there's rotation, it's going to be right over Abbott now, about 3 miles northeast of Mansfield. And downstream from that is going to be Washburn and probably out there around Blythe Road, White Oak Mountain Road, and then eventually coming up on Highway 10.
I'm looking off camera here. I'm stealing your computer over here.
Go for it.
A lot of heavy rain in this, too.
Yeah, the cell near Clarksville is interesting, too.
I was about to look. Yep, that's what I was going to say, too.
You got
that's
two
the one that's out ahead, too. It's got that interesting feature. Man, that one near Clarksville has really expanded pretty quickly, too. Pretty quickly. The environment is so favorable today. It's just going to be a matter of can we get something sustained or not. So continuing to keep our fingers crossed, but definitely continuing to watch. High severe potential right now in the River Valley. If you're in Fort Smith, if you're in Northwest Arkansas, well, let me rephrase. If you're in Bentonville, Fayetteville, Springdale, Rogers in Northwest Arkansas, you're behind the line. You're good to go. So pretty much we'll say all clear along and west of Interstate 49. But the thunderstorm chances, the line still moving into Madison and Carroll counties. Our main concern now, man, that one still looks like the reflectivity's come down, but it's still got that shape, just kind of giving you an idea of the atmosphere today. But highest risk, Fort Smith even, now all clear. Southeast Oklahoma, all clear. The main concern for the rest of today is going to be Franklin, Johnson, Logan, and Scott County. So for those of you in Boonville and Paris, Clarksville, Ozark, and Waldron, going to keep an eye on the forecast for the next couple of hours. And this one still looks like it's trying, Garrett.
Yeah, let me go back to velocity on this, and let's see what this looks like here. Right there. Yeah, it's got a little bit more.
It looks like it's kind of tightened up a little bit, maybe.
I'm not sure why that keeps populating with the hail.
Yeah, the hail.
I'm not sure what the hail this one's doing, but we'll. I'm sorry, that's bad. Let's look. This is. Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? It's like it's trying to do something there. It just hasn't been able to so far. It's over Echo, northeast at Barber, but just based on this wind signature, I bet we get a warning on this soon.
I'm wondering too.
Probably at least severe, I would think.
I would think so too. Did any hail off camera with that?
Let's see.
Might give us an idea of how strong the updraft is
Yeah,
becoming
you've got quite a bit of hail east of Mansfield. It looks like it's dumping out here just northeast of Abbott. If I can get in a little closer, maybe it'll populate Abbott here. It doesn't look like it.
Echo Road.
Echo. Oh, there we go. Yeah.
There you go.
So yeah, that makes sense because you've got the updraft and you're losing the hail just north of it. So that there's some hail that's coming down here near Echo and Abbott, moving northeast. But the rotation looks a little bit better on that storm.
Right here, right. It's kind of straddling the. I'm getting disoriented. Southern Sebastian County into Logan County. The line here, if I'm right. Yep. Yeah. There you go.
I'll go back to radar and turn the scope on for you. No, man.
That icon loves you.
It's that icon. This will be the last time anybody sees it after this. after today. Let's see. There we go. That's a little better there. I think we're looking at a base velocity here, where the other one was storm relative.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yep. So I mean, he's still showing up though. A little bit.
I wonder if we can loop this here. Let's see here. We have our sister station in Dallas, and this is similar to what the setup is similar to what they're using, but I don't like how fast everything's moving.
Can't really tell a trend when it's moving.
There you go.
Lightning.
That was a little bit better.
It's still, right there. Pulse type trying to do something with it.
Yeah, it sure is.
Now, if this does continue to strengthen and intensify, it's just a heads up. This will be moving down into Logan County. So that's next up into Logan County, maybe southern Franklin County if anything tries to develop. But it looks like it's sure trying.
Yeah, it is. It looks a little more linear on that scan. We'll see what it looks like here. Let's go back up to our storm near Clarksville. Yeah, it's got still a cluster of lightning with this one too.
It does. It's come up pretty quickly. Man, it's raining heavy if you're on Interstate 40 right now between Ozark and Clarksville. A lot of heavy rain, a lot of lightning. It's come up. You've got a new scan here. It's going to begin to move towards the east, probably clips parts of western Clarksville, but Hartman now down near the bottoms on the river. Coal Hill, you've already seen the heavy rain. It's going to begin to move out, though, pretty quickly. This is one of the ones that's ahead of the line. We've been watching throughout the afternoon. It's pulsed up pretty quickly, but overall not seeing much rotation with this, Garrett.
No, it doesn't look like it's rotating much at all. Let me see if I can, I'm going to loop this and then I'm gonna save this at a slower speed before I go.
At least that one's starting to fizzle out. It looks like.
Yeah, the one farther north.
Yeah, this was the one earlier.
Oh yeah, boy, that did come down, didn't it?
Came down really quick. I bet you it's getting undercut by the front.
It probably is. It looks like that's what's happening here because you can see the front getting right there when you're Mulberry.
Yep.
That little line there is probably what's undercutting it. Which that could help us too.
It's right on the line here too. It'd be interesting to see, too, how the front interacts with some of these storms, because then sometimes it can help spin as they interact with each other, too.
You can either get them to enhance or kill, and it looks like that one definitely died.
Killed it.
What's interesting, though, too, is you have basically two cells that are probably the big ones of the day, one near Clarksville and one north of Waldron, and frankly, they don't look that impressive right now. I guess we could have something else pop up here in this area, but even that one in Huntsville got undercut west of town.
Yeah, you can see them pretty. This is the front right here, and so as it's moving to the east, the reflectivity's come down pretty substantially. I would say the risk is definitely lower in northwest Arkansas than the River Valley, even in that tornado watch in northwest Arkansas.
Yeah, and then the one in Clarksville is just too elongated right now. It doesn't have much shape to it. It has a lot of lightning strikes. Lightning's just quite a bit of lightning here coming up on Harmony, and there may be a little bit. Let me look at hail with this. There may be some small hail. The estimated hail size is about 1/2 an inch out towards between Harmony and Coal Hill. So
nickel size?
Yeah, about nickel size here, just northwest of Clarksville.
Yeah, so this will be moving to the north of Interstate 40, in between that big road between OARC, if you're going to go up to the general store. That's really where this is crossing right now, out towards the Woodlands Baptist Church. This will begin to move towards the northeast. Eventually, we got Lake Ludwig right there. It's going to probably pass just north, probably close to Ozone, the Ozone Burger Barn there as you're heading up Highway 21. But it looks like the hail is probably going to miss Clarksville, and honestly, probably most of the heavy rain, too, in Johnson County before it heads on out into the Ozark Forest.
You ever had the tater tots up at the Burger Barn? Those are good.
Yes.
Aren't they the best?
So the best. The burgers, I would eat so much food there. We'd always go hiking up in Ponca, and then on the way home, stop there.
I can't get
Catalpa Cafe is good, too, so just a side note there.
Which one?
The Catalpa Cafe.
Yeah.
Yep, it's good stuff.
Let's zoom out a little more. Let's go back to this one to the south. Don't you think? I mean, we've got two to watch, but I think the hail on it is, actually, you know what? The hail came down on the Boonville storm, too.
I wonder if it's about to get undercut, too.
That would be good news for us if that happened. I'm going to hit the hail button here. Bear with me because it's going to do that dumb icon here in a second. But you can see how the hail has come. Yeah, it's come down. At one point, the hail was, let me see if I can query it and get
almost
an idea.
an inch at one point.
Yeah,
0.8, I think, is what it was.
Yeah, about 0.8.
Oh, it's still 0.6.
Yeah, that's back here when it was a little stronger. Right now, it looks like it's spitting out 0.3.
Yeah, so it's definitely come down a little bit. It's probably its healthiest right through there.
Yeah, right around southern Sebastian County. But, you know, if it can get off that line, it can do something. It just hasn't so far.
I agree. And I'm going to look at GR Analyst over here.
You can check Analyst, too, for the maximum estimated hail size, and even the VIL has come down on both of those. The one near Clarksville is probably trending upwards more. In fact, it is trending up. Just looking at it as it's moved through the west side of Clarksville, this one's on the way up.
Looks like it's trying to do something, and it's out ahead, too, and I'm looking. That one's also moving into a more favorable environment, too.
Going up in the atmosphere, we do have rotation on this storm. You can see it at tilt 1.3 or actually 1.8 looks really good. It's 8,000 feet up, so you have some kind of mid-level mesocyclone that's in there. There's nothing down to the surface. You don't really even see some spinning at 4,000 feet, but when you get up to tilt 1.3 and 1.8, you should be able to see it there, west of Clarksville.
I agree. I'm actually joining the Little Rock
chat.
Yes, and seeing what they're thinking about this storm. Significant weather advisory is now on that one until 2:30.
Yeah, this looks like, I'm going to change this real quick. That kind of looks like garbage. You can't really see much on that. If I take it up, let's see if we can get a better look at that. Or maybe we'll do it after this.
Gotta love technology when it works, right?
Yeah, well, you know, I was trying to, you know, we can see, off camera, we can see all layers in the atmosphere, so we can see all different tilts. On camera, we're pretty much tethered to the lowest level, and the lowest level just looks blah. There's just not much there on the low-level tilts, which is not bad. I mean, it means you're probably looking at less in the way of a tornado risk there, but that is probably just looking at it, is that the strongest one? It may be.
Probably. This one looks like it's coming down even more. I think it's getting undercut too, maybe.
Yeah, it could be. It looks like it's trending down.
Yeah, it doesn't really have that shape at all earlier, the backward C looking.
The one in Crawford County just fell apart.
It did.
I mean, look at that's gone.
Quick. They did issue, with that significant weather advisory, they're talking about 50-mile-an-hour wind gusts, and I believe some small hail, too, nickel-size hail, like Garrett was saying, a little bit under, about a half inch, I think is what you were saying, radar was showing. So
it was indicating about half inch or so. What's interesting, too, about this is I think all of Oklahoma's in the clear right now. LaFleur County's clear. Sebastian's about to be. You still have that storm on the southeast part near Mansfield.
I bet they start clearing that watch from northwest to southeast pretty quickly, I would say. I really think this is probably going to be more of a central Arkansas problem later on today. So hopefully we keep the track. We've kind of threaded the needle the past couple of systems. So hopefully the trend continues for this afternoon.
Just taking a look at this one again near Harmony. I'll go ahead and put this in motion and loop it again. You can kind of see how it's tracking. It's about head up the National Forest. I'm looking at hail size. Hail size came down. It was, actually it's still up, isn't it? You've got a little pixel there northeast of Harmony out there along Farm Road 1450 and 4321 north of Harmony. That's actually headed right towards ozone. So if you're getting your tater tots, get them and get out of town because this one's coming right up towards you here, I think.
Man, you're making me hungry. I want them.
I know. We got to make sure. We got to figure out a way to get ozone on the map here. I'm not sure why it's not populating.
I don't know either. Yeah, you can see. Well, I always just look at the lake and know it's like right as you go up the mountain. That's how
Ludwig?
Ludwig right there, and then as you move up the mountain, somewhere, the Burger Barn, somewhere right in here.
Should be right there, yeah.
Yeah, somewhere around. You got the overlook over here. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I spent a lot of time up here growing up in Johnson County, but
this is interesting too. Okay, I'll stop this real quick. You can see the backside of the storm. See that little notch there? It might be a rear inflow jet coming up. Yep. So that is trying to wrap up, I think.
It's probably going to try to get its act together.
Yeah.
Thankfully, though, this looks like it's staying north of Clarksville. So, ozone, northern Johnson County, and then it'll be into Newton County before too long.
And the Weather Service has the radar mode in Fort Smith. They've got it on the supplemental low-level tilts, and so we're getting more low-level tilts with these scans than we are upper-level tilts. So even when I get up higher in the atmosphere, I'm still showing the rotation west of Clarksville. That's obviously not where it is because that last updated, actually it just now updated, and yeah, you've still got mid-level rotation near Harmony, moving northeast. So I think that is going to be one to watch here. There's just nothing down at the surface. So heads up in Ozone, Fort Douglas, and Salis, and eventually Limestone in Newton County. There's not much at the moment. development, but that's certainly one that's trending upwards. I think you're right.
It's kind of getting the look too.
It is.
It's got you got the rear inflow jet there, and then it's kind of got that kidney beam shape. Trying to bend backwards.
I'm going to try to load this here in a second and show you guys what it looks like on Analyst, so that way I can kind of give a better idea of what's going on. It might make a little bit more sense to the folks who are watching us. You guys are watching coverage here on Facebook or either on 5newsonline.com, so we're a little bit more informal than we typically are with this. But you can see here's Analyst, there's Harmony.
Yeah, it's
right there.
Yep. Right there.
And if we take out, we just look at normalized rotation, you can see the rotation is right around this area. And what we were talking about earlier is scanning up into the atmosphere, and it's not till you get really high up there that you start getting a little, that's even too high there, so maybe 1.8, 1.3, you've got a little bit of rotation here. But
it's been lowering too.
It has.
As it's gone throughout the past couple, man, yeah, it's really trying to get that look.
I turned on smoothing, it makes it a little easier. Off camera we use pixels because it actually gives us a better idea of what's happening, but this looks a little cleaner for broadcast. But Dax and I are looking right there at that little notch right in here. That's usually an indication that the storm is getting some rear inflow winds, and oftentimes that's a precursor to some tornado development, or at least a stronger mezzo here north of Clarksville. But I think you're right. I think, well, you are. It's going to miss Clarksville. Yeah. It's going to go north of town.
It's going to get pretty close to, I would say, I think it's going to pass just north of Lake Ludwig and the communities up there. But Ozone, as you're heading up, yeah. Here's Ludwig. If you want to
go back down.
Yeah. So here's Ludwig. That's a good point of reference. You know, if you've been out there to swim, the swim areas, they got the new sandbar and stuff out there. It's going to pass very close to where that is, and then points just towards the north. So as you're driving up the road, you know, you got the big bend where it goes back and forth as you're going up the mountain into Ozone. Where the Burger Barn is, that's where it's going to begin to move, and then cross Highway 21. So it's going to include Ozone, and then eventually Salis and Fort Douglas in northern Johnson County.
Looking at some of these other storms, I'll go ahead and put this on pause here, but there's really not anything else going on in northwest Arkansas.
We're going to see sunshine, I think, along Interstate 49, probably, what time is it now? 2, and by 4, 5 o'clock maybe?
Yeah, I think so. It's going to be surprising how fast the sun comes out. Yeah. The Weather Service sending us a bulletin. The radar trends along the line have been down in 30 minutes. That's exactly what we're seeing. New cells becoming stronger ahead of the line in Franklin and Johnson County. Well, they're saying Franklin County, but we know the one in Johnson County is also. That's actually Little Rock's area of responsibility here. So the Weather Service will change from Franklin to Johnson County here.
They've actually issued a significant weather advisory on the Scott County storm, too, if we want to take a look
at
it. Got any spin on that off camera? Or?
Let's see. Is it ahead of the line? Let's look here. I don't see anything at first glance. Let's go higher up. Actually, I'm at 1.3. But even when I go down to the surface, there's just not much there.
No, doesn't look like it.
And normalized rotation's pretty clean on that one. The hail size, they issued the significant on that hail. Yeah. You're about 0.7, so you're approaching quarter size here near Hahn. That should pass, let's loop it.
North of downtown Waldron?
Yeah, just north of Waldron. Right there at, let's see, State Highway 28 and 71, kind of just north of that intersection is probably where that hail's going to move.
I still think that this is probably storm number 2 in terms of intensity. I think that number 1 storm is probably still the Johnson County one right now.
It's still this one.
I haven't seen any talk about, on the Little Rock chat at least, of a tornado warning just yet.
Yeah, nothing going on from Little Rock. Also, I guess you saw that on Scott County because they cover Scott as well.
Right, yep. I've got the Little Rock chat up over here.
Yeah, not much. I mean, you've got some, that's 1.3. At 6,000 feet, you've got rotation.
It's a little bit closer to Interstate 40, too.
Yeah, it may be. Let me look at the time on this. So we're looking, this is 10 minutes old. So it's still doing that supplemental low-level scans. So it's getting those low-level images a lot faster. This image came in at just a few minutes ago. So this is a little bit more accurate, I suppose. Let's see. Yeah, the line's moving through pretty quick, looks like. Go back to this. I think looks like is there some redevelopment right behind it? There may be a little bit of showers just behind the line.
I think they just got a warning on that one in Johnson.
Oh, severe, severe thunderstorm warning. That makes sense. That should have been issued for a minimum for hail, I think.
I agree.
Let me
does it include 11 miles north of Clarksville, 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts and quarter-size hail. This is until 2:45 p.m. Right over Woodland. It's going to be moving towards the north and east. So just like we were talking about, Harmony, even, it's probably going to pass just south of OARC, downtown OARC, but Ozone definitely near Lake Ludwig as it moves into northern Johnson County.
Probably some good hail with that storm, too, especially out there just to the west on County Road 4490 and then 4291. Of course, that's quite a ways away too. I mean, you're getting into the national forest now. Of course,
right.
We know our friends are at the Burger Barn watching us, but you start getting a little bit deeper into the Ozarks, it's a lot more difficult to get storm reports because you are so high, so much higher up.
I agree. Yep.
Let's see, not much. I don't see much rotation there on that scan. Let me go back here into Boonville. This one still looks pretty intense. As far as the hail goes, though, there's just nothing there. There's a little bit of hail west of Boonville, but it's going to be a lot of lightning. We got a cluster of lightning strikes that are essentially coming right down Highway 10. And then the one in Waldron is the one they've been watching. That one is not spinning. What about hail? It's got a little bit of hail in it. If I zoom out, you can kind of tell where the lightning strikes and the hail are located. And just at first glance, you can obviously tell this is the severe one. This one's pretty close to severe limits in Waldron, moving northeast. We should be in the clear in Bentonville. Look at these west winds. We have west winds in Bentonville gusting to 28 right now. And I bet you if we take the, if I switch this over to our Jacklinks cam, well, it must be really secured because it's not really moving that much.
It normally bounces around pretty good,
too.
that's
what I was thinking.
Any other time, that looks like someone's dribbling it like a basketball.
It may be that south wind that moves it. The west winds may not move it as much as what's going on there. But yeah, so I think Bentonville's in the clear. Fayetteville also has west winds gusting to 28. Fort Smith has west winds at 25. Poto has west winds at 23. Let me get a little closer here. Russellville still has south winds at 18. So you can tell where that boundary is. We don't have a whole lot more observation sites. Let me turn that off here and just glance at it. I don't think we can get any more obs out there until you get to Russellville. So it's obvious. Well, you can see where the front is. I mean, you can see the line here stretching through Waldron. But again, you need to get these storms off the line if they're going to do anything. And the one that's off the line is this one.
Yep, and that's the only warned one in the state of Arkansas right now as well. It's really, I'm trying to look here.
Kind of elongated still, though.
It is, yeah. That's what I was about to say. It's still got some hail with it, though, and gusty winds either way.
Yeah, we'll probably get some good wind gusts out of it, and
just kind of looks messy.
It does, yeah, and it may be that storm. Some of that junk to the south, like right in here, might be cutting off some of the inflow too for the storm. It might be stealing some of its thunder, but.
And it was also the other concern today was where we are gonna have severe weather. You want them individual for a higher tornado threat, and it's gonna eventually evolve to where the storm mode's so messy that the tornado threat overall is gonna be pretty low. So
yeah.
It's probably from now for the next couple of hours while they're briefly discrete and by themselves, it's the highest tornado risk, not only here, but honestly across this entire state.
These winds are really going too. Out over Tulsa, you got gusts to 32. Let me just look out west real quick. 31, Oklahoma City, 36, northwest at 33. So I mean, you're talking some really strong winds in the wake of this front as it moves through. Several gusts here. I'm trying to find the biggest wind barbs. There's one there. That's 33, 36, and yeah. So real windy right behind the front. Again, the one in Johnson County is the one we're watching. Although right now, there's a lot of hail with that storm. Of course, the one in Waldron's got some hail too. I could see them justifying a warning on the Scott County storm just based on hail.
They've got significant weather advisories out for it.
As soon as I said that, you can see I step back one frame and then go forward. You can really see how it just kind of it's lost its hail signature a little bit more. Let me go back to this product too. This shows it. You can see how it's just kind of falling apart. That's back and then forward. It's not very organized in Waldron either. This one is, though. Man, you got some decent hail there west of Ozone.
Yeah, you do. If any of my friends are watching, I know they are watching, send me some pictures. I'd appreciate that.
You can do it on the 5 News app. It's super easy. You just click near me.
Or if you know who you are, you can text me.
Between OARC and Ozone, the analyst is indicating 1.25, so you're larger than quarter size here, right near, what is this going to be, County Road 5440 and then 4432. And then obviously turning off the radar, it's a lot more sparsely populated, so it's tough to get some of those storm report pictures in. So if you do get some hail, you can shoot it our way, and we'll get it up on and share it with the other folks that are watching us on the coverage. I wonder if it's redeveloping down to the south. Sorry if I'm making everyone motion sick.
It's kind of drug itself towards the south.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it?
I wonder, let me look off camera. Well, you can do the same thing, I'm sure. Going to say GR analyst, see what we got in the upper atmosphere. I'm
probably going to take this too. I'm going to see if we can slice it apart and see what this looks like. Let's see here. Maybe. Yeah, let's do a box on this storm here near Salus and Ozone, and we'll take it full. So this is the storm structure here. And then zooming in, you can kind of get a feel for it. Look at the winds getting pulled into it. You can see it here from the south side of Clarksville. There's the tower. You got quite a bit of suspended hail aloft right in there, so you know it's loading the hail up. And then you look back to the west, and you can see the updraft, more hail that's suspended aloft too. That's going to be moving northeast. And I don't know, you may have it might be a stretch to call it an overshooting top. I don't know. Looks like it is. It lines up with the updraft, though.
It does.
Yeah, so you're about 40,000 feet up. You're pretty high up there. Let's see if step this back.
It is interesting. That's really happened pretty quickly.
Yeah, you can see how this storm started out really small there near Paris, and it's still growing pretty big. So I think it's still trending upwards. I don't think it's going to be trending down anytime soon.
And it's ahead of that line, too, so not much to stop it.
No, it'll take on a life of its own here shortly.
It's still got that rear inflow on the back where you were talking about it,
right
the wind punching in the back. Yeah.
I wonder if I might break this. Let's see if this works. Change it over to rotation. You can kind of see where the broad area of rotation is here. And then going over to storm relative. It doesn't look like much there. Base velocity.
I'm not seeing much
No.
over here either.
It's got the shape. We'll see what it does as it moves through, but it definitely has the shape to it. And I think what's probably going to happen is this thing's going to get up into Newton County and start messing around right around Mountain Home or something.
It's generally how that works,
Yeah.
which is good for us.
It is. Won't complain about that. Looks like the warning lit up for Polk County, just south of us, or Mena. That does include Mena. The radar beam's pretty high up here from Fort Smith. You're looking Hatfield, the radar beam's about 3,700 feet, so you're pretty high up there. In Waldron, the radar beam's closer to about 1,600 feet. Looking at this one for hail, we do have some hail dropping out of this around Hahn, tracking north as far as rotation goes. Don't see anything. Yeah, a little bit right here, and then a little bit down to the south.
I think the one near Mena's got a little bit too.
It looks a little better here on storm relative. Let me go back to the base. Actually, you know what? There is something there, isn't there? Right there.
There is, right there, sure enough.
Doesn't show up on normalized yet, but there's
been happening a lot today. It's been pulsing up and down, like quick stuff.
And you can see why, too. That one looks like it's right ahead of the line. So it's actually not even with where the hail is. It may be something new that's coming up here. A little kink in the line with that one. Oh, yeah, and the one in Mena does, too, doesn't it?
Yeah,
right there.
That's what I was going to say. Mena's looks a little bit more concentrated, too.
Yeah.
That maybe down the lines, far southeast Scott County might clip.
Right in here, maybe, yeah.
Y-City, maybe even south of Y-City, south of Parks.
It's got to do something, though, because if you look at the observations here in Mena, you've already got southwest winds at 7, so you don't really have that backing wind down there. Let's loop this again. As far as Fort Smith goes, boy, those winds are at 25. Looks like we're clearing out pretty quick there. Northwest Arkansas, we're pretty much in the clear from any severe weather. There's a little bit of stragglers out there as far as the rain goes. That's moving north-northeast. Look, I was looking at Franklin County. I don't think we're in the clear yet. We still have that southern Franklin County, all of Logan County, and Johnson County. This won't be it, because that stuff around Boonville is going to move northeast. So there'll at least be one more round, I think.
I think so too. I don't think we'll be able to give the all clear for our entire region till 4, maybe 5.
Look at this storm, as the Crawford County storm, as it fell apart and kind of got pulled into the upper level winds. You can see it just racing off up towards St. Yeah, it did. It got blown apart. There's nothing left with that one. Let's see. Yeah, this is more of a wind maker probably. Maybe wind and hail. Not much rotation up around Ozone now, and then Boonville. Let's take a look and see what's going on here. Let's see.
A lot of heavy rain.
Yeah, heavy rain.
Lightning.
Maybe some hail from that storm near Waldron as it lifts north. And then, of course, we have that one in Mena. The Mena one actually looks probably the most interesting right now.
It does. I would agree with that.
Yeah.
It's got the shape and it's got the rotation on the radar.
Let me go back to a wide view. We may regroup here and get back on here in a little bit. I know we've been on for a hot minute, but north of Clarksville, you can see there's the warning polygon. The tornado watch goes till 8 o'clock. They're going to trim that back. There's no way this thing's going to last that long. And then I'll take you real quick to the satellite radar. See if we can. There you go. You can see it real clearly where that clearing line is.
It's about to move into Fort Smith even.
Sure is.
Clearing line. Southeast Oklahoma already clearing out, and then really I would say I don't know, you agree with me or not, Garrett, here with Johnson, Logan, Scott, and Franklin are probably the only 4 counties remaining that have this severe weather threat.
Yeah.
I think it's probably over almost. Can't give the all clear, I guess, officially, but it doesn't look impressive in Northwest Arkansas at all.
Yeah, give it another hour or so, and maybe hour and a half for eastern Logan around Subiaco.
Yep.
But it's gonna wind down fairly quick for us, which will be nice to get this stuff out of here. Let me go back to the other radar here and see if I can bring you a loop, and then I'll here we go. This is going to be over the last hour. And then I'll change this to 30 minutes here. It looks like they're going to continue that warning in Johnson County, but they did trim it back, and they took part of the southern part out of that storm. There you go. So that whole line is going to be moving northeast, and eventually getting out of our area here, coming up here shortly. We're going to keep an eye on all this, and I'll be bringing you an update too as we head into the afternoon hours. Dax and I both are going to be watching this pretty close. The severe thunderstorm warning for Johnson County will continue, and we'll watch the one also in Scott County until this thing finally makes its way out and moves out of our area. Hopefully that happens sooner than later. So keep it here, guys. We'll keep you posted as we head through the overnight hours. It's going to take a second or two here to get off and then get off the interwebs, and then we'll be joining you here shortly again with some more live coverage.